Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barbies and Kens, Chelseas of all ages, and everyone else, welcome to Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast. I'm your host, Jay, and with me I have my co-host. We may not have sparkle dust, but we do have unity. Are you ready to ride the rainbows, John?
I've been writing them for years.
Today we are here to talk about the 2016 television movie Barbie Dreamtopia. This is the pilot to the Dreamtopia TV series. This is the one big Barbie movie we didn't cover when we were doing our original series, and that's because it's not actually a feature-length movie.
No.
46 minutes, but now that we're doing all the TV shows, we're doubling back to this one just to kind of get the context for what the show will be.
Yeah. It's our first big Barbie thing since we did the films. We did Life in the Dream House,
Yeah.
but that doesn't count because Life in the Dream House is its own little bit of amazing. But now we're back
Yes.
to Mattel Barbie with
Yep.
the proper cast that they have going on, and it's boy. I don't know, the time apart was really great. You know? We probably should have done this back when.
I considered
anyway.
it, but yeah, this was released June 26, 2016. This is between Barbie Spy Squad and Barbie Starlight Adventure, for anyone who's keeping track of that. Now, the series overall, the Dreamtopia series overall, was created by Julia Pister, who's a kids' TV and film producer. You should look at her IMDb at some point. She's done a lot of stuff, especially from when we were kids. Worked on Rugrats, Nacho Libre, Dora and the Lost City of Gold, that's the live action one, several Barbie movies. She did the Spiderwick Chronicles, if you remember that movie.
Okay, yeah.
Series of Unfortunate Events, the movie, not the show.
Okay.
So, we're working in that kind of space. This movie is directed by Saul Blinkoff, who started out as an animator on a bunch of Disney Renaissance movies. He did work on Pocahontas, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Mulan, and Tarzan, and then worked on two more of the straight-to-DVD sequels. He did several of the Winnie the Pooh DVD movies, Kronk's New Groove, and then also did episodes of Dreamtopia and Dreamhouse Adventures. So eventually moved into more of the Mattel and Barbie wheelhouse. We have writing by Kate Boutilier, or Kate Baudelaire. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Baudelaire.
But she also works, She works on kids' TV and movies. She also worked on Rugrats and then Johnny Test, and the one that we would know her from is she did the writing for Barbie Starlight Adventure.
Okay.
And then we have production design by Garrett Sander, who worked in the art department on several of the Barbie movies and TV shows, as well as several of the Monster High movies.
Interesting.
Then we have music by Aaron Simmons, who is a musician who worked not as the composer, but worked on the soundtracks of the live-action Smurfs movie, Despicable Me 2, and Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
Yeah. Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
Now I'll have that song stuck in my head for the rest of the day.
I mean, let's just watch the trilogy right now.
That could be our after our next series. We can. Oh, that would be torture. And anyway, this film and then the series is also produced by Snowball Studios. They're an Israeli studio who does 3D animation, and they've worked on other TV shows in sort of a similar vein as this one.
So the story, I guess. Let's get into this little synopsis.
Yeah.
All right. So Chelsea is feeling anxious about an upcoming bike race. She's afraid of telling her friends that she can't ride without training wheels. So she tries to get Barbie to help, but a rainstorm stops them from making much progress. So in her dreams, she goes to the magical land of Dreamtopia, and she goes on an adventure to look for the winged unicorn. The Nato Prince, a dream version of her real life rival, Otto, is also looking for the unicorn. Back in the real world, Chelsea decides to go to the race with her training wheels, and meanwhile, in Dreamtopia, she rescues the unicorn from the Nato Prince. And in the real world, she beats Otto in the race, and Barbie points out that her training wheels weren't even touching the ground. Wow. Uh,
Yeah.
I never
Pretty
even got
simple
past
plot.
training wheels, so I never learned how to ride a bike proper. So,
Oh man,
yeah,
it's a
no, I haven't ridden a
good skill
bike
to have.
in over 10 years. So,
Well, I mean, you know what they
a
say about
long
learning to
time.
ride a bike. You never forget how,
Nah,
apparently.
nah, it's like four wheels for me. I need to have a car.
Yeah. I like biking. I should do it more often. I don't currently have a bike, so that makes it more difficult. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I do want to acknowledge before we dive into the review here that we are very much not the target demographic for this. Like, even less so than the Barbie movies, because this is skewing even younger than that.
Yeah, I'm I'm a bone to pick about just kids TV in general. Like, I don't know, but it really feels like that in the past 10 years, kids TV has gotten worse somehow,
Okay.
where it's even it's even dumber in that the writing is lesser and lesser. It's weakly written. I feel like they just don't have as much as much faith in the kids. Because I watch stuff like
Mm.
My Little Pony, which is targeted around the same age range, but it's much
Oh,
more. Eh,
yeah. I think this is even younger than that. I think that's more of the Barbie movies were more around the My Little Pony age range. This to me feels
right,
like
but
it's
like
for like
they don't exactly have
3 to 4.
a TV rating for that, so they just put in the same TV rating. But even still, does this really need to be like this? They could put a little bit more effort into it. I just think
Yeah,
there's not a whole lot of
I
rewatchability.
yeah. I mean, again, we aren't the target demographic for this, so I'm sure it works better for the kids. But yeah, I wish it were a tad better. And I think these creators have done good work elsewhere. So I wonder if there's, constraints. Either maybe they didn't have enough time to develop it better, or if there's, corporate mandates that they have to fulfill.
Usually, they
Because
have
yeah,
to
I
get
mean,
approved by corporate.
yeah, but even more so than because this is definitely meant for an even younger audience than any of the things we've
Mm.
watched before. Um, yeah, I don't know. I kind of am of the opinion that like, why are we putting less effort into kids content just because kids are less discerning? Like, you would think you would want to put more effort into it because it's for kids who are more
Right,
impressionable. So you want to, but I
because
think
parents are
companies often
watching as
see,
well. I
yeah,
mean, maybe less because this is the age where like, okay, we'll turn on the TV, just sit the kid right there, forget about the
well,
kids.
not even
So,
because this is more designed for YouTube. So this is
oh,
what the kids watching on the iPad.
oh,
So
wow, interesting. Even still, I remember things
yeah,
being a lot more clever.
Yeah,
Even when
I think
rewatching
it
Dora as a
depends.
teenager, I felt that it was a little bit more, somewhat more intelligent. Although that's debatable.
Yeah, every time I go to watch kids media, it's like, oh, this worked better when I was a kid. Some of it ages better, but there's definitely
Hmm.
been things where I'm like, ooh, this is not, the Wiggles or something. Oh, the Wiggles was very
Uh,
absurd. There's like that one where
sure,
they went
yeah.
to outer space. I don't know. Yeah,
It's something, that's for sure. So let's just move on. The story,
yeah,
I didn't really care much for it. We're not the
yeah,
target demographic, so
yeah. I think the distinction I want to make here is that, like, I don't know that there's a version of this movie that I like with the target demographic. Like, unless it's like a Studio Ghibli type thing, just given the
honestly,
target
it's
demographic and what
Shark
this
Boy and
is.
Lava Girl. That's what this is.
Well, I actually think it's Alice in Candyland, or Alice's Adventures in Candyland. Also very reminiscent of The Wizard of Oz. Both, I think that one is especially intentional because they have Chelsea and her dog, and they have the bubbles and flying around and all of that kind of stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and we have an
But
episodic structure um, based on their each sort of segment is one dream that Chelsea's having with its own sort of mini conflict. They go to the town where all of the fruit live, and then the strawberry bears are attacking, and they have to do diplomacy
hmm
with the sugar spun princess. That's, I think, the only princess name I remember. And it's the hair forest. That one, there isn't really a conflict. There's a conflict that shows up, this like creature that's having a bad hair day, but then that doesn't get resolved. And
yeah,
then
Nato
it's
is
off to
just going off doing his thing, being stupid.
the
Why?
yep, the mountains,
Because
the sparkle mountains. It's just kind of
uh,
like, oh, there's Nato tried to mess with them to get to the unicorn first, and then they go to the rainbow lakes or whatever and have to rescue the unicorn.
hmm
And it makes sense for a TV movie. You can imagine where the commercial breaks are coming.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, there's a lot of dips to black, that's for sure.
yep. And I think the interesting idea here is that each of the different dreams is based on one of the objects in Chelsea's missing. Skipper and Stacy are off at like summer camp. So she's missing
Where
them.
they're
So
dead.
Barbie gives her
I
this.
don't know.
I
Did they state that they
Yeah,
were at summer camp?
yeah, no. Barbie says that they're in summer camp.
Okay.
But yeah, she gives Chelsea this memory box of different items that are from all of the sisters. And so each of the dreams is connected to one of the objects. It's the candy necklace, which then leads into the candy based dream, and then it's the thing, the laurel, whatever, for hair. So then it's the hair forest, and then it's the sparkly gemstone, so it's the sparkle mountains.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's odd because it doesn't connect back to the sisters in any way.
Sisters aren't even
Like
in
we
here.
have each,
That's why I asked if they were
yeah.
dead.
No, they're apparently off at summer camp. But yeah, you could imagine a version of this where it's like each realm she visits, the princess is one of the sisters. But no, they're all Barbie.
Nobody wants teenagers in this show. Ew.
Well, they have Barbie.
Well, she's like practically an adult, almost.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just
The
imagining
single
like the
mom.
because this is very similar to Chelsea the Lost Birthday in terms of here's Chelsea having this dream that connects back to her real life and people from her real life are characters in it. But in that one it's more
Mm-hmm.
so about the sisters and their different personalities. Here it's just like here's a candy necklace. I don't even remember which of the sisters had the candy necklace because it doesn't connect to either of the sisters.
I don't. I mean, honestly, the Chelsea Dream one had a much more obtainable goal. Like she's trying to get her birthday back. Here, it's like she. I don't know what the unicorn has to do with her riding a bike, so it's something.
Well, because she's gonna ride the unicorn. It's poorly established, though. Very poorly established that that's the connection.
Uh, sure, whatever. It's just.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do think the connections back to the real world are tenuous. Besides the Nato prince and Barbie kind of showing
mhm.
up as the helpful figure, there could have been a bit of a stronger. Again, like the Lost Birthday, which is not a masterpiece by any means, but it does a similar concept a little bit better. Plus, it has
I mean,
Arlene.
this concept has been utilized in so many TV episodes or just some other shows that just done so much better. Where it's like, okay, you have a problem in the real world, then you enter a dreamland or just some distant land because of something. Dragon Tales, you get that bar of
Yeah,
soap or something, or was it a scale? It was probably a scale.
I don't know.
But as a kid, I
the
remember thinking that's a bar of soap. But anyway,
the
um,
one I kind of remember is the Phineas and Ferb one, where it's I think Candace goes into the land of Odd, and it's a Wizard of Oz rip or riff, and that's similar to this one in that they're both based on Wizard of Oz, kind of.
but that being
This one
said,
more in
like the
aesthetic.
similar idea of like you're solving your problems through a dream,
Yeah,
essentially. And like you said, this is Barbie in exception, Inception.
yeah. This is the closest Barbie has come to an Inception movie
Hmm.
because not only is it, you know, Chelsea in Dreamland, it's also Barbie sort of manipulating Chelsea into convincing her that she could ride a bike, and it manifests in these dreams. No, it isn't Barbie literally going into Chelsea's dreams, which might have been a more interesting premise for this. But
It'd be confusing, but sure, yeah. Does Barbie know? Maybe
yeah, yeah, it's a bit like I don't know. I wish they had played that up a bit more.
it's the Thumbelina ambiguous.
How so?
Wasn't Thumbelina a real thing in Barbie's world? Wasn't that a thing where the film
Yeah,
ended and they're like, "Oh,
yeah.
Thumbelina
The
would come back"?
fairies are watching over Barbie, telling the kids the story of Thumbelina. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now I get what you're hinting at there.
Yeah, yeah. Going back to a Barbie movie, yeah.
Now, this is not the first Barbie movie to end in a race. And I think that's where I was really disappointed with this one. I was thinking back on Ponytail, where you
Oh,
have
okay.
the pony race at the end, which this entire movie has kind of been like, some of it's fine, some of it's not. But then you get to that race, and that race is exciting, and there's tension and triumph, and it's just a lot of fun. This sort of third act, everything kind of comes together in a way you don't quite expect, and it makes you leave that movie a little bit happier than you were at any point watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And here they just kind of they set that up and then they completely waste it. The race is so boring,
Yeah,
and you've been building up to not only this race but also the riding the unicorn. And I'm going, oh, that's actually kind of smart. You can kind of cut back and forth, and you can have the parallels there, and
but that
you
makes
know,
no sense. Is she dreaming while she's riding the bike? Is
well,
she falling asleep while riding the bike?
one of the characters in the Dreamtopia says, "Oh, you can visit us even when you're awake. So the idea is she's like using her imagination to fill out the
When did they
story.
say that? I never heard that.
It was when she's leaving the um when she's leaving the Sparkle Mountains. The Teresa or
My
Nikki says that.
this is so bad.
But you can imagine, a third act that's like cutting between these two things and directly
Yes.
comparing them and building the tension and like, is Chelsea gonna win the race? Is she gonna be able to ride this unicorn? But no, it's
No,
just like
they
they play out one scene and then they play out the other scene and it's boring.
she starts the race, they go to the dream and solve the problem, and then she wins the race.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember not even realizing that they had switched over to the dream. Like not in because I was keeping an eye out for it because they said, "Oh, you can now enter the dream whenever you want." I was like, "Oh, I need to pay attention to see when she enters the dream." And then a couple scenes later, I'm like, "Oh, wait a second, they're in the dream again," and I didn't like make note of the switch. I was
Hmm.
just kind of like, I don't know. It's hard to keep this movie in your mind because it's so
Yeah.
boring.
Even the unicorn, the alicorn, flying, just
Yeah,
it's so underwhelming. Like Nato just pulls on the hair. Honestly, the horse should have kicked him, but I know
yeah,
you can't do that in a kid show, in a younger kid show. So it's just like, nope. She just puts sparkle on the horse, and the horse fly away.
yeah, yeah. You can imagine a version of this again that is like building the tension and cross cutting and because they start the race and then it cuts to Chelsea and she's going to the Rainbow Kingdom and there's this whole extended section with the rainbow ladies who are different colors of the rainbow and there's the fish swimming around and but what if it's
There's
intercutting between these things as it's like the setup to the race and then it's that's all of the setup there and then oh no the unicorn's in trouble and she has to rescue it and there's something wrong with her bike and she has to fix it and you know make the parallels so that you can build the tension and have it be contiguous rather than starting one, finishing it, then starting the or no, starting one, cutting to the other one, doing the entirety of the other one, then cutting back and finishing the first one that you started.
But that's too much effort for like a kids thing that they're not even going to notice.
Yeah, I mean that is my issue with a lot of kids videos. It's like I know the kids aren't going to notice, but also why is that an excuse to make a lower quality product?
Because it's cheaper and faster. That's why.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
just a bad story.
Yeah, I gave the story a. Oh, I'm gonna drop it. Gave it a 0.5 out of 5.
I gave it a one. Like, yeah, I don't care. Like again, we're not the target audience, but like I still feel like you can do a better thing.
Yeah, there are interesting ideas which I think we talked about here that could have been, and I think what we're looking at is what if this had been closer to Barbie and Chelsea the Lost Birthday, which has a lot of the same ideas, but it actually kind of explores them. Now that one's also like 15 minutes longer than this, but this one just spends so much time on stuff that doesn't matter,
Would
like
this
the
even be worth it?
bears.
Like, what's the point of this? Like, I'm
I
thinking
mean,
about other like small kid stuff. Those you learn a lot more, and they're just better relatable concepts. Like I'm thinking of Caillou, Arthur, all those PBS kids shows where you learn stuff and it's like
yeah,
practical. Here they're trying to teach you how to ride a bike, but like most of the time you're just in this dreamland. So the kids they're like, "Oh, look at the pretty dreamland." They don't care about the bike at this point.
Yeah, I think the difference between this and like the PBS stuff is that the PBS stuff isn't made exclusively to sell toys.
No, yeah, that's definitely for sure. But still,
Yeah,
still, I mean, come on, Clifford. My goodness, Clifford was a deeper storytelling than we got here. Yeah, no, let's just move on to just
yeah,
characters.
yeah. We have Chelsea. She's the protagonist here.
Hmm.
She has an arc. It's
Hmm.
all about learning confidence.
Is that what
It's
this is?
not all that interesting to me, but it's probably helpful for kids.
Learning
Maybe.
confidence? Just be more specific than that. Like the
Well,
bike
about
riding
riding a
makes
bike.
sense.
Yeah. But it's
Learning
also her kind
confidence.
of because the issue with her riding the bike is that she's too in her own head about it.
There are
She just
so
kind of needs
many
to do it, which is how
shows where
you
the
learn how
very
to
first
ride a bike.
episode is learning confidence. Like,
Yeah, and the thing is, it doesn't land as much as a theme because it's like it doesn't relate to any of the stuff in the dreams, except for one character who we'll talk about in a second.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, it's a
Uh,
pretty generic lesson here. I think the more
mm-hmm.
interesting lesson, slightly, is the her versus Otto, and sort of her being okay with being a little with not being as grown up, which I guess is kind of the bike thing because she's kind of learning the that it's okay to use the training wheels. Which,
Mm-hmm.
but if that was the lesson, then why does she not have the training wheels in the end?
Well, because growth.
I
She
know,
can
but
ride a
like
bike
if
now.
the lesson is it's okay to be a kid, why does it end with her not needing the training wheels? And if the lesson is her learning how to ride a bike, then that's not all that interesting of a lesson. And it doesn't play out in any of the dream sequences.
They took 40 minutes to tell that story. It's so
Yeah.
worth it. Anyway, she has a sister named Barbie.
Yeah,
I
she
think
is
we know
again
her.
we've talked about this idea that over the course of the Barbie movies, Barbie slowly went from being the character that the kids are supposed to relate to being this perfect older sister. This
Hmm.
fantasy of the perfect older sister who's supportive and kind and always knows what to do. And yeah,
Right.
this is very much that version of Barbie. Now, personally, I would have liked to see a bit of more of her subplot. I think that's the part that I found more interesting, where she's with her friends, and they're planning this parade, and the friends don't want to dress up because they're not kids anymore. And then Barbie sort of is like, but being grown up doesn't mean you have to let go of being a kid, which is an interesting message, but we don't get much of an exploration of that in the context of the older characters. That's has more to do with Chelsea's arc here.
You know, it's
Which, yeah,
funny.
again, this isn't meant for us; it's meant for young kids. But
I just finished watching this movie an hour ago, and I'm not retaining any of this information. That's just how uninterested I am in this film. I'm already just telling myself to forget all the details. I don't care about any of these character subplots or what's going on. was so uninteresting to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think about it probably too much. That's
Yeah,
my issue.
that's your job,
Oh, not really a job. We're not getting paid too much for this.
but you wish you were. Anyway,
Yes. Yeah, next up we have the princesses, who the idea is that each realm has a different princess, and as I already said, that's kind of because they're all Barbie. If you know, one was
they're all
Stacy and one
Barbie.
was Skipper, and one was Barbie and one was Chelsea, and you can have Chelsea learning from the subconscious version of herself. Well, that's an interesting idea, but no, it's they're all Barbie, whatever. They all kind of blend
Yeah,
together with Barbie, except for the one who I think is interesting, and I kind of wish she had been the only one of the princesses. Like if she had been the first one that shows up and then is following Chelsea throughout the movie, is the Sparkle Princess. And the thing that's interesting about her is that she's less confident in her own abilities. She's the sort of still learning her magic. She's a bit like to call back to life in the dream house. She's a bit like a Blarby type figure. Not
right.
nearly as self pitying, but and I find it interesting because this is the segment of the movie where the dream is based on Barbie's object, her gemstone thing. So it suggests to me that this is supposed to be the version of the princess that is closest to the real Barbie, which gets back to this idea that Barbie, her inner life is not as perfect as she projects out to the world. Which they've explored this idea before that like she's positive and outgoing and bubbly, not because that's what she fears inside, but because she chooses to be that way despite her sort of fears and anxieties. And I find that an interesting character, and it adds so much depth to like the because the perfect older sister archetype of Barbie isn't interesting unless there's a little bit more depth to that.
Hmm.
But this doesn't get explored at all here. It's just the Sparkle Princess in this very short segment. So I wish there had been a bit more put into that. You know, I think back to my favorite example of this, Barbie and her sisters in a puppy chase, where you have that moment where Barbie breaks down completely and how it illuminates what that character is and the depth that's hidden behind sort of the positivity and all of that. I find that so interesting. And this movie kind of hints at it, but then pulls back very, very quickly.
Hmm. I got nothing.
You weren't tracking this because this hasn't been something that has interested you all that much. I don't think with these Barbie movies.
No, uh, no. I think, I just think that this story didn't need to be this long. You
Yeah,
could just
I'd
cut it
agree
down to
with.
20 minutes. It'd
Yeah,
be tighter, it'd be better. Did we need 40 minutes to talk about how Chelsea can ride her bike? No.
I think there's enough in here for a full 60-minute movie, but
Uh,
they would need to
don't.
build out on so much of the ideas that they have that just kind of get dropped. You need to give Barbie an arc. You need to give Otto more to do. Which, speaking of Otto,
Otto. Ugh. He's a bland villain. He's just a kid.
yeah, he's the typical mean kid. The most interesting thing, did you catch his reaction to Chelsea riding
I
the
did.
unicorn?
I did, yeah.
Where he's impressed and then has to like hide that because that's not who his character is supposed to be.
I took it as him being envious that she gets to ride the unicorn.
Oh, okay. I
Well,
I
that's just
saw it as because there's a flash of like awe
I
of
know,
just
I
like,
know.
oh.
That's definitely what they're going with, but because I like I like My Little Pony, I'm like, man, I would like to ride a horse. That's me. That's just me.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, you're definitely right. That's what it's intended to be. But I joke and saying, he just wanted to ride a unicorn.
I mean, fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Otto, what was what was the villain from the secret door? The quote unquote princess that
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
everything.
Malusha?
Otto, yeah, Otto is just a heavily watered down that character.
Yeah, because in that one, Malusha wants the unicorn as well.
Yep.
And that would have been at around the same time, like maybe a couple of years earlier.
Yeah.
And
Specifically,
that was
she
very
wanted the power.
dreamy. Yeah. Yeah, here we don't really know what the unicorn does. Like, there's no reason Chelsea is looking for it.
There probably was. We just missed it or something. It's so easy
Yeah.
to miss details in this.
Yeah. I think the reaction he has here suggests a little bit of depth to his character that I'm kind of hoping the show explores. That he's not just the villain, and that his relationship with Chelsea, for as much as he is antagonistic towards her, maybe there's something else going on there.
Yeah.
I think a good example of this being done well is like Raquel in Life in the Dream House, sort of this villain who gets a little bit more depth. But I don't know if we're going to get quite that level of not sophistication, because it's not even particularly sophisticated, but you know.
Yeah, another reason why I was so frustrated about the kid writing is that there's things that happens that make it convenient for the villains. Like Chelsea, for some reason, loses her charmed necklace, and it's like, oh, we need to have our villain get to the end. How does he do that? Oh, just give him the necklace, and it's just so lamely put together. Because why did she lose it? It was around her neck. The thing did not break off. She just lost it. Yeah, it's just so. Let's move
That's
on.
a diabolus ex machina. Have you heard of that term? It's the opposite
No.
of a deus ex machina. It's when
Oh.
something unrealistic happens that benefits the antagonist in a story. But yes, moving on. Next, we have who I think should have been the real villain of the story, the cat Melky,
Hmm.
who's
Maybe.
just so much fun for like the two scenes he gets. Like when he started talking, I was like, oh, this is going to be such a cool character. Then he's gone by like the next scene.
Yeah, it probably would have made it much more interesting, but honestly, it was just another character in this huge roster of characters that I don't care about. Melky, definitely better, but I don't know. Did we really need
Like what?
Melky?
What if the Nato Prince is working for Melky?
See,
What
yeah,
if Melky has a reason
sure.
to get to the unicorn?
But like, who is
Because
Melky in Chelsea's life? That's the thing.
yeah, you might have to introduce a character into the live action, or not live action, oh, real life stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, this movie has broken my brain.
Yeah, no, that's what it does.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Barbie's friends, who I would have actually
Who
liked to see a bit more of them because I
probably
think again their arcs are interesting and could have been explored in an interesting way. But this is
were
a
they
Chelsea
interesting?
movie.
I don't know. I
Well,
don't even remember.
not like super interesting, but like there's a bit more to them than just I don't know. I
They
would
were
rather
Barbie's
spend more time
friends,
with them than like the strawberry bears,
I
if that
guess.
makes sense.
I would have just spent less time overall, but we can't always have what we want.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I gave the characters a oh just a second here. I gave them a 2 out of 5. I think there's a bit more going on here that the if the story were better, the characters would stand out more because there is something there.
Hmm. I gave it a 1 because I don't care.
Yeah. Next up, we have the animation.
Hmm. Yeah. Interesting.
This is stylized in a way that the Barbie movies really aren't.
I do like the stylization. I like that a lot of it is like paint brush strokes in terms of
Yeah.
their texture and detail. But I really don't like the overall character designs and the character models. Barbie doesn't look like
Yeah.
Barbie. She looks like uh, Rapunzel for Tangled, or even like the Disney princesses.
Yeah. I I like the backgrounds for the most part. Now they're very sort of generic dream world backgrounds, but again, like the style really works for the backgrounds. And then
Yeah,
the real
I
world looks. Oh, go ahead.
no, I did really like the how it's 3D models that are 2D textured, but they look really good.
Yeah.
Like you can barely tell it's 3D. It's really well done.
Yeah. And then we have like the design of certain things, like the ship that Chelsea travels to the Dreamtopia on. That looks really good. Just the design of it is very interesting. And there's little
Was it?
things like that. I mean, I thought it looked nice.
Hmm.
But yeah, the character designs are very like chibi and not in a way I find particularly interesting.
Yeah, I they're hit or miss. For me, they're mostly misses.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of specific moments that work. The changing hairstyles, those are kind of an interesting idea, and we get some creative hairstyles.
Hmm.
I think some of the non-human creatures look a little bit better, but then we also have the strawberry bears, which are horrific. They look so ugly. You're looking around as if you do not recall the strawberry bears, John. They were a very important part of the movie.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about, but like, I thought that the little hairball thing was even uglier, or just
Yeah,
anything that's just not important wasn't that great.
yeah,
Which is like it's been a constant problem with the Barbie films, where like outside of your main characters, everything else gets less attention.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really think this style, I find it more interesting than a lot of the other Barbie movies. But yeah, the character models are not the easiest to look at.
No,
And the more
that's.
you look at them, the worse they look.
I mean, sure, yeah. I had the opposite reaction where the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh no," but then I paid close attention to what the actual details were. Like, okay, that's a
Okay.
little bit better, but it's not amazing.
Yeah, I think I had a bit of a curve where when I saw it at first, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then while watching the movie about two scenes in, I'm like, oh, I'm starting to get a little bit tired of this. And then by the end, I was numb to it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was
I
paying less
do.
attention to sort of the like quality of it versus the design.
I like the idea of it. It's definitely unique to what we've have seen with the Barbie films already, but like I just wish that they'd had a little bit better execution with the
Yeah.
character models. Like you can tell that someone who really likes animation worked on this, but
Hmm.
there's just that 20% that could be a little bit better.
Yeah. No, I gave the animation a 4 out of 5. I think even just in that it's different from the other Barbie movies, I appreciate it.
Yeah, because of that, I gave it a 3. It's really the character models that bring it way down.
Yeah. Next up, we have voice acting. And I don't know, it's nice to hear Erica Lindbeck again. It's been a
It was
while.
nice to recognize her voice, but again, I'm like, oh, wait, she still doesn't sound like Barbie.
Yeah, she sounds like Barbie to me. We've had this debate. We don't need to relitigate it.
I know. But, like, it just came back to mind where it's like, oh, that's Erica Lindbeck. She doesn't sound like Barbie. Like, I just, especially after having Life in the Dream House with Kate Higgins, that
Yeah.
sounds really good. Coming to Erica Lindbeck, it's like, ah. But yes, I had that moment of like, oh, it's these people again. That's nice.
Yeah, and we have other returning. Well, actually, this might be the first time for some of them. We have Nakia Boreas, who plays Nikki, who also played Nikki in Life in the Dream House. Um,
Yeah, there's a
and
lot of
then we have,
recognizable voices, but I can't tell you who they were.
yeah, then we also have Ritesh Rajan, who plays Derek here. And he actually plays Ken in the Life in the, or not, in Dreamhouse Adventures and
Hmm.
all of those sort of spin offs. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the voice acting is fine overall. I really like Spike Spencer as Melky. I think just because he's the only one who sounds like he's having fun
Mm-hmm.
with the role. Like everyone else plays it very sincere, whereas he gets sort of this, it's the Tim Curry type role,
Sure.
which I think is also why that character stood out to me a bit. But yeah, I think overall the voice acting is doing what it needs to do, but not
It's
standing out.
fine. Like I somewhat feel like there's less effort put into it, but it does the job it needs to for this. So I gave the
Yeah,
voice acting a 3 because of that.
I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah, that's probably the better choice, but eh.
Well, as we watch the rest of the show, we can figure out what we
Sure.
think better.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. And lastly, we have the music.
The music, yeah,
It's
it's
just it's fine.
mostly fine. Forgettable a bit.
Yeah, the theme was interesting at
Very
first, but then it
TV.
was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I can tell that I'm going to get so tired of that theme song.
Yeah, like it's overused, and like it was nice at first. It was the most interesting piece of music of this whole thing, but it's so overused
Yeah,
that I don't care. But it's all it's just fine. There's nothing terrible going on here.
yeah,
It's acceptable.
yeah. I gave the music a 3 out of 5.
So did I.
Which,
Which leaves me with a total score of 11, which is a 44% or 2.25 star rating. Yikes.
yeah, I have it a little bit higher at a 13 out of 25, which is a 52% or a 2.6 on our 5-star scale. Um, yeah, not very high up for either of us. This is actually your lowest ranked Barbie movie.
What's lower for you? Diaries?
For me, yeah, Diaries is lower, which again I regret that one. And then Thumbelina and I think Perfect
Okay.
Christmas are also lower. Yeah,
Well
I
then.
think honestly, I this would probably be my lowest, although Thumbelina is also a little bit down there.
Hey, I appreciate Thumbelina for the most part.
I know you like Thumbelina. I I like one thing in Thumbelina, which is the villain, which I remember you did not like the villain in Thumbelina.
I did not.
Yeah. Are you hopeful for diving into the TV show, or are you has this knocked the wind out of your sails?
I am not at all hopeful. Like I was excited to get back into Mattel Barbie, but like after watching this, I'm like, oh wait, like this
Yeah.
is exactly what I feared this whole podcast would be about these subpar kids content, and we were like
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised throughout this entire run until now. We're reaching what our expectations were. So,
Yeah.
like, how long are the episodes?
Episodes are like 10 minutes.
Okay, then like they might do better storytelling wise with that
Yeah.
length. But like I don't know, they could just waste our time. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm hoping that we get a little bit more depth to some of these characters. Because there's hints of it in this movie that I think could be explored. But yeah, I'm not holding out hope. I think the one good thing is that when we get to Dreamhouse Adventures, it'll look so much, or not look, but be feel better than this just by comparison.
I don't care about the characters, just give us better storytelling.
Yeah, I think the characters are the key to the better storytelling.
Not always, but sure.
But yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to follow us on social media. We are Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram and Tumblr, Binging Barbie on Twitter and Serialized, and Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast on Letterboxd. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate that. And we will be back later this week with an episode on Christopher Nolan's first film, Following. And then in 2 weeks, we will come back with our episode on the Dreamtopia. We'll be doing the shorts, which are they just premiered on YouTube and are shorter than regular episodes, and there aren't that many of them. And then we'll also be doing the first 5 episodes of the TV show. So doing all of that in one podcast episode. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Bye, Barbie.
Bye, Barbie.